3 generations of Harrisons ran the pawn shop in Las Vegas, Nevada, including the man in charge, Rick Harrison. He had found himself an overnight sensation after nearly 30 years in the profession. He described how the show's unusual mix of history, game show-style drama, and hastily created content has impacted audiences. But that is not the case today, as we'll see in this video. Churlish things about Rick Harrison that there is a good chance that you'll end up hating him. So, let's roll. Rick Harrison is transphobic. Pawnbrokers deal with a wide range of people. The cash-strapped, the desperate, the opportunists, and regular Joes seeking a good deal. Rick Harrison has dealt with them all, and in an interview, he revealed his customer deals and steals. In one of his interviews, Harrison revealed that the busiest time for the store is when there's a big boxing event. Harrison subsequently admitted to acting as an unofficial bail bondsman for a certain segment of his clientele. Pimps, just to be clear. When they are jailed, they have someone bring their jewels to him, and he lends them half of what they paid for it, and that's the sum of their bail. However, just because the second-generation pawnbroker supports the pimp's lifestyle doesn't mean he holds a liberal viewpoint on all elements of society. In fact, it's the polar opposite. Harrison's transphobia surfaced during an interview about his affection for Marco Rubio. As he mentioned, some places have laws stating that if a man feels like he's a woman, he can use the women's restroom. I guarantee that some very terrible individuals who wish to go into a restroom with young ladies will take advantage of you. What will happen if legislation like that is passed? Yucks talk about being out of line. See, when someone says stuff like this, it can cost you your business. Wage theft. The cast of Pawn Stars has made a fortune over the course of 19 seasons. Rick Harrison is worth an estimated $8 million, according to history. Corey, Big Hoss Harrison, and Austin Chumley Russell both have around $5 million in their bank accounts. Given the show's success, it's no surprise that its network has done well. History earns $3 million every episode, according to Celebrity Net Worth in 2014. However, in the world of reality television, there is no such thing as trickle-down economics. But it turns out that production companies in the entertainment industry were accused of wage theft, and the perpetrators behind Pawn Stars were named and shamed. A 2013 poll revealed that scriptwriters and producers lose $30,000 a year in unpaid earnings by working without breaks and overtime compensation, according to the site. When you add in the other employees who work behind the scenes, the total loss of profits is staggering: $40 million. People work up to 100 hours a week during shooting, and there is no pay for that extra effort. The writers and producers of Pawn Stars receive a minimum of $2,136 per week. Scripted program jobs, on the other hand, bring down $6,712, the unhappy employees of Pawn Stars creators. In 2015, workers chose to unionize in the hopes of better compensation and working conditions. Sued for assault. Richard and Rick Harrison allegedly choked and abused a 62-year-old Vietnam veteran. Daniel Callahan claimed he got into a fight with the two after carrying his Model 96B rifle in for an appraisal, and things quickly escalated. According to Callahan, the Harrisons put him in a chokehold, yanked him through the store, and flung him onto the pavement. He went on to say that the incident had wrecked his rifles, as well as his walking stick. In April 2012, Callahan filed a lawsuit against Gold and Silver Pawn Shop, alleging physical abuse by the Harrisons and seeking $20,000 in damages. Rick's son, Corey Harrison, rejected Callahan's story after the lawsuit was announced. Big Hoss attempted to shield his family by claiming that Rick and Richard weren't in the room with Callahan. He claimed Callahan was the aggressor, claiming that he was enraged and had a weapon in his hand. "I want to see the owner," he screamed. He also claimed that his employees had done nothing illegal. Corey went with his staff because he believed the Pawn Star would have done the same thing if he had been there. He went on to say that, given his behavior, it was in our best interests to get him out of there. Coins melting mystery. The cast of Pawn Stars has had their fair share of run-ins with the law. They were in the middle of another legal dispute in 2014, this time for allegedly melting down a stolen ancient coin collection. David Walters stated in a criminal complaint filed in Clark County Justice Court that his niece, Jennifer Beckman, stole his valuable coin collection in 2013 and sold it to the Gold and Silver Pawn Shop. The pile Beckman took to gold and silver netted a total of $12,375, according to Walters. But the enraged uncle claims his collection is worth closer to $50,000. When Walters learned the coins were missing, he promptly informed the authorities. But the coins were already gone when the cops contacted Gold and Silver Pawn. The only explanation the Pawn Stars could come up with was that the monies had been melted down since they were unidentifiable, or that they were in buckets with like coins waiting to be appraised. In the debate over Walter's $50K valuation, the Pawn Stars claimed that these coins were worth significantly less than the guy anticipated. They added that none of the Pawn Stars cast members had done anything unlawful or illegal. But we know that there's something fishy going on down there. Vetted beforehand. The purpose of reality shows is to entertain viewers. The border between reality and scripted television occasionally blurs. Before being featured on Pawn Stars, all of the objects are thoroughly inspected. They aren't being seen for the first time with new eyes. Yes, the products that are featured on the show have been thoroughly vetted in advance. They've been inspected and cleaned up to provide viewers additional value. This basically means that transactions are put together ahead of time. The show's light writing is done to keep it engaging for everyone. It's anything from spontaneous when a scene begins and we see some guy coming in off the street to pawn some Civil War-era blunderbuss or something. Each client who enters the store has previously completed a release form, allowing their image and voice to be used. It stands to reason that the Pawn Stars won't just put anything on TV. Only the best, most precious items will make it onto the broadcast if they are even shot at all. By the time the encounter is recorded, the item's value has been predetermined, and the back and forth between the employees and the customer has been lightly scripted in order to get to the agreed upon pricing point. Yeah, on that note, my curiosity just went out the window. Way to go, Rick and crew. Now you're just like any other reality TV show. Secretly divorced. If you're a fan of Pawn Stars or pornography, you might be startled to learn that Rick Harrison and his now ex-wife Deanna Burdett planned it that way, and they actually managed to keep their divorce under wraps for a long time. In fact, Harrison and Burdett would have probably kept it a secret if it hadn't been for those interfering kids. Get it? By that, I mean overgrown man-children, Corey and Chumlee. In August 2021, the fans did some digging and somehow managed to obtain legal documents that revealed that Harrison had filed for divorce on July 1st, 2020 in Clark County, Nevada. The reason for their split? You guessed it, irreconcilable differences. Yeah, Rick is very good at keeping irreconcilable differences. Well, half of the Pawn Stars franchise runs on that. Harrison stated in the legal paperwork that his and Burdett's tastes, mental dispositions, beliefs, likes, and dislikes had become so diverse that they have become incompatible with marriage throughout their marriage. Burdett initially responded to Harrison's divorce filing by requesting alimony, and the former couple eventually settled and divorced in September 2020. Rick Harrison is estimated to be worth $9 million. It's all about the merch. With a few exceptions, the famed Pawn Star shop looks virtually exactly like it does on TV. The broadcast is shot at an angle to avoid seeing the massive quantity of souvenir stuff sold by the store. For example, the back room is stacked floor to ceiling with boxes of t-shirts. The sales of products bring in just as much money, if not more, for Gold and Silver Pawn. Profits at this well-known pawn shop are now primarily derived from branded Pawn Stars products. People who manage to get into the pawn shop after standing in lengthy lines outside are commonplace in Las Vegas, since the pawn shop is a popular tourist attraction. These individuals enjoy purchasing Chumlee t-shirts and other Pawn Stars merchandise. Visitors can buy goods such as mementos, much like they can buy Hard Rock Cafe t-shirts and other items. The merchandise for Pawn Stars is undeniably popular. Fans can also purchase merchandise on the History Channel's website, so it's not enough to deceive people into buying things, they have to turn it into a new business. Before we go on to the last part of our list, we'd love to hear your thoughts on today's video, as well as if you have any other favorite shows that you'd like to see on our channel. Another lawsuit. Rick Harrison, star of Pawn Stars, is in court with his 81-year-old mother, Joanne Harrison, over their family inheritance and interests. However, the reality TV personality claimed that his mother was duped into filing a lawsuit against him. Joanne filed her case in Las Vegas court this week, alleging that Rick persuaded her to sign away 51% of her part in the family business, G&S Coin Shop, sometime in 2000 or 2001. Joanne was suffering from a coma at the time and said she didn't completely comprehend her agreement with her son. Joanne Harrison was married for 58 years to the late Richard Harrison, who was known on the show as the Old Man, according to the breach of contract complaint. The firm was featured in a History Channel episode in 2009, which also featured grandson Richard Corey Harrison and family buddy Austin Chumley Russell. Joanne Harrison also claims she has been unable to obtain a proper accounting of more than $500,000 in cash and silver that she believes her husband amassed before his death. The action demands specific damages, an accounting of assets, a court order prohibiting Rick Harrison from accessing Joanne Harrison's cash, and constructive trust over her property. Thank you very much for watching the video. Do like and share it with your friends. Subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon to not miss any of the upcoming amazing videos. Thank you once again.